Black folks, hear me out. I'm a multiple time combat veteran, and I'm telling you, it's time to get some body armor and it's time to get some power tools because the next 5 months in this country, I don't like the direction that it's going. If you talk to any black combat veteran, they will tell you the exact same thing. Right now, a lot of us are on high alert. There's a reason why I want to put out some videos explaining to you all what body armor is, explaining to you all how cops are trained to shoot. Understand something. There are things that you have to be ready for that's going to be coming. Listen, you got cities out there talking about robot police dogs with explosives. You got cities out there saying that, the police have even more rights, even more deference than what they already had before. And you got people out there, former presidents, saying crazy stuff on social media after they're being referred for criminal charges, and his supporters are not going to react nicely to that. Black folks, it's time to get ready and protect yourself. That is the one message that I want to give you as a combat veteran.
All right, Shalom. I'll start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arachak, Wadash. Double honor to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone who rule well. And peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And this is my response to you need the whole armor, not body armor. And this is the lesson put up by the elder Manat Zagba, GMS, South Carolina. Good video. And you got to listen to this, combat veteran, Jake, who's clearly, carnally minded. And they think that, through their own strength, that they'll be able to deliver themselves. And that's going to be one of the mentalities that's going to get you out of there early, thinking with a carnal mindset. All right, that, because we know that doom is coming, great tribulation, that, we got to carnally prepare ourselves. We got to get, locked and loaded, suited and booted. We got to, stockpile, get all this ammunition, get a bunch of bulletproof vests and armor. Because, the devil, he's coming with his, robo dogs, robots, all that good stuff, right? Well, this is not how you prepare for that. All right. And, time after time, every once in a while, you'll have a Jake that's in his mindset, and, they'll come on social media and make a video to go viral, pushing his message that Jake need to carnally prepare themselves, arm themselves. All right. And that shows a lack of faith. All right, that Jake don't believe in the power of the God of the universe. Now we understand that, when this hell comes, it's gonna be basically a scourge on the wicked. Any of our people that ain't doing right, their hearts are not right with the Most High. They're not repenting to the Heavenly Father. They don't have faith. They don't believe on the word. You're not going to be protected anyway. If you don't fear the Most High, if you don't keep His commandments to the best of your ability, and you don't have faith in Yahweh Shai, you're not going to make it. No matter how much ammo you got stockpiled in your closet, no matter how many bulletproof vests and all armor that you got, it doesn't matter how trained you've been in the military. None of that matters. Now, let me get one real quick to start it off. Because if you wicked and you're not of the Lord's elect that He's going to come to deliver, you're going to get touched either way. You're going to get numbered to whatever form of judgment the Lord has in stores for you. All right, Psalms 125. And verse 3. And it says, "For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity. Do good, O Yahweh, unto those that be good, and to them that are upright in their hearts." All right, do good to them. All right, that have an upright heart. That's doing good, right? You showing love and uh, kindness, charity to your brothers. All right, you keeping his commands to the best of your ability. All right, you constantly praying to the Lord, fasting, doing what you got to do. Good works. And as long as you're doing those good works, you're storing up for yourself, treasures that the Lord will look into your treasury in that day and look upon your good works, and He look down upon you for good. He'll protect you. It says, verse 5, as for such as turn aside unto their crooked ways, the Lord shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity, but peace shall be upon Israel. So the elect of Israel, they're going to be in peace. Okay. And I believe there's a scripture that says that. I believe it's in Second Ezra, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Okay, no, this ain't the one, but that's a good one. I think it might be in Psalms then. There's Job 5. Yeah, Job 5 and verse 19. And this is for the elect or the righteous. It says Job 5 and 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. But if you're wicked, then you have to be the one to anticipate the evil. If you know in your heart that you ain't doing what you're supposed to do in the sight of the Heavenly Father, you're not doing what's pleasing in His sight, then yeah, expect evil. That so much that you are not confident that you won't be able to be preserved through it all without resorting to carnality, seeking refuge from, armor and shields and weapons. It says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shalt not sin. So we're going to be in peace, okay? And this is why, we're not to, burden ourselves with mortal thoughts, things that are too heavy for us. We put off the weak nature. The Lord's going to come through for us. His hand is not shortened that it cannot save. He's going to come and save us, with his stretched out arm, his mighty arm, which is the right hand of the Most High, Yahushai. All right, let's go here real quick. Second Ezra 2, in verse 26, it says, as for the servants whom I have given thee, right? And we know that the Most High, he gave his elect unto Yahushai. All right, those are his first fruits. It says, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. My hands shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. All right, so his hands is going to cover the men of the Lord. Let's read that in the GNT real quick. Second Ezra 2 and verse 25, it says, take care of your children like a faithful nursemaid and guide their steps in safe paths, so that no one of them will be lost. When the time comes, I will hold you responsible for them. Don't worry. When the day of trouble and distress comes, others will cry and mourn, but you will be happy and rich. The other nations will be jealous of you, but they will not be able to harm you. I will protect you with my power and save your children from hell. So the Lord said he's going to protect you with his power. So that means that you're not going to save yourself of your own power. All right. You don't have any real true might in your hand like that. Esau, the power was given to him. He said that he would live by the sword. So that's his power. That ain't our power. All right. We're not going to be able to deliver us from the hand of our own strength. It's just not going to happen. This is Psalms 33 and verse 16. It says, there is no king saved by the multitude of an host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. And a horse is a vain thing for safety, neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. All right. Let's get Jeremiah 9 and verse 23. And it says, thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, because none of that will save you in that time, man. Having the wisdom of this world, having, all his might, you're skillful when it comes to combat. You're a combat veteran. You spent some time under Esau's military. You train how to shoot, or you got all this money. None of that gonna mean nothing in that day. If you're not of the elect, you won't be protected. You will, the Most High will put you to death. All right. It says, but let him that glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me. All right, you understand that the Heavenly Father, all right, he's a God that delivers. All right, he's the one that's in total control. He can deliver a small remnant without the help of a great multitude. He can confound a great, powerful multitude or army with just a few men. That's nothing in the sight of the Lord. Okay. It says that I am the Lord which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord. Right? And that's who you're supposed to, put your trust into. Because in that day, we're going to have to call upon him. That's how we're going to be delivered. You're not going to be able to deliver yourself. Now, hey, even going back to when King David went up against Goliath, they put the king's armor on him, and he said, "Man, I can't go out with this," and he took it off. Let's go to First Samuel real fast. Start like around maybe the 23rd verse. It says, and as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words. And David heard them. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him and were sore afraid. And the men of Israel said, Have you seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up, and it shall be that the men, like the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. Right? Talking about King Saul. And David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, What shall be done to this man? It's like, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Who is this damn pagan Hamite that he should defy the armies of the living power? And the people answered him after this manner, saying, So shall it be done to the man that killeth him. And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, Why camest thou down hither? Like, why are you here? That's what he telling David, because David is the little bro. And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. And David said, What have I done? What have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him toward another and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner. And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. And David said to Saul, Let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. This is the youngest brother. David was a young man. They thought he wasn't ready to go out to war yet. He was just tending to the sheep. And Saul said to David, Thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Saul, Thy servant kept his father's sheep. And there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Yeah, they didn't know that about David. They didn't know that he had that in him, that warrior spirit. All right, but that was the spirit of the Lord on him, man. All right, because hey, he can use the weak to confound the mighty. Apostle Paul said that he that is weak and feeble among you shall be as David. So David, he was a mighty young man. So how much more us when the Lord raises us up? It says, Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he have defied the armies of the living power. All right, so just like I slew them lions and I slew them bears, man, he's nothing. All right, I could do the same to him. David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion. So he's giving credit to the Most High. And out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, Go, and the Lord be with thee. And we got to have that attitude that the Lord's going to deliver us out of the hand of E. When he try to come down upon us, or Isaiah 59:19, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, you should expect the Lord to move through with divinity, man. He's gonna show he's gonna have a reason to show his right hand, his power. But Jake talking about we got to get armed up and go get your bulletproof vest. You even got Sakari, You know, them dudes, they trust in that stuff. And what happened to the original Sakari? It says, and Saul armed David with his armor, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. So he was like, nah, I can't go with all this on. All right, I've never worn these before. It just don't feel right. I'm taking these off. So he left himself wide open against a trained up warrior. Think about that. And he took his staff in his hand and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook and put them in a shepherd's bag, which he had even in a scrip. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth, and ruddy and of a fair countenance, meaning he had a reddish brown hue. Okay, he looked very young and healthy. And the Philistine said unto David, Am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air and to the beasts of the field. I mean, I'm gonna leave you a corpse, you know, right here where you stand, for the fowls to come down and peck you, and beasts to devour the remaining, the leftovers of your flesh. So he was talking big shit to David. And you know, normally that type of talking would spark fear in somebody, but David was so mighty in the spirit and in the faith. This was David's attitude. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield. So he came fully equipped. But let's see who won this battle. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the power of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee, and take thine head from thee, take your head right off. And I will give the carcasses of the hosts of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. So you see the spirit that was on David. That's faith talking. He stepped out on faith, which a lot of our people in this day is proving that they don't have. It says, and it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. So that one boulder that he slang to him, all right, hit him so hard that it penetrated his damn skull, instantly killed him, and he fell to the ground with his face to the earth. And you know it took a long time for that big ass Philistine to go down. You know he fell down slow, and everybody got to see it. His big brothers that was talking shit to him, the Philistine armies that was right there, King Saul right there. Everybody seen that. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David. See that? That's the point. He did it without having to use any shield, any sword, any armor. He did that, and the Lord sanctioned it. All right. So that's why he said in his psalm, in which the elder read it, and I'm gonna read it as well. Psalms 44, verse 6, it says, "For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us." All right. Because some, they trust in horses and chariots, but we will trust in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. And that's just, the level of faith given. And we're going to need that. Because we know this devil, he's going to go all the way out. All right. This devil, he got it like, when you play your favorite, uh, video game involving, violence and shooting and all that. If you want all the best weapons and you want, all the ammunition, you put in a cheat code. You put in a cheat code and you just unlock this weapon, that weapon, and you got easy kills. Well, that's that Esau has that cheat code on the left hand side. He got all the technology for that smoke. And if you not of the Lord's elect and you don't have this kind of faith, he's going to give you that smoke whether you train or not. Or the Lord said that the rod of his anger, oh, the Syrian, that's in his hand. And he's going to give them charge and send them against the hypocritical nation. And he's going to do in them. Matter of fact, let me get it. It says, "O Assyrian, the rod of my anger and the staff in their hand is my indignation. I will send him against the hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil, to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets." And yeah, they're gonna catch it bad. But hey, Jake gonna be, because you got Jake that's in this spirit, so they're gonna put up a fight. Just like during the time of the siege. You had the Zealots, you had the Sakari, they had those wars with the Romans, and they was putting up a fight, but eventually they ended up losing because Israel ended up getting scattered. Our temple got destroyed once again. They took from us, took out of the temple, and erected the Ark of Titus. All right. So let me get real quick this parable that Yahushua spoke. This is Luke 11. In Luke 11 and 21, I'm gonna just read this parable. It says, "When a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. But when a stronger than he shall come upon him, right, and overcome him, he taketh from him all his armor, wherein he trusted, and divideth his spoils." So that's why, you know, these weapons don't mean anything. The armor, the weapons, none of that mean anything, man. You want to take on you the whole armor of the Most High. All right, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness. That's what you want to arm yourselves with. And the weapons of our warfare are not even carnal, but spiritual. Esau right now, because he's in his world, he's in his kingdom, he's stronger than you. So he had the power to overcome you. That's why we're in his position to this day. The only way we can defy that is if we step out on faith and the Lord steps in to defend and fight us. Well, he won't be able to overcome us, but we will be able to overcome him. That's why we have to be with the Lord. He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth. All right. And how will we overcome him? 1 John 2. Actually, let me go to 1 John. Might be 1 John 4. Here it is. 1 John 5 and verse 4 says, "For whosoever is born of the Most High overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith." All right. So this is how we're going to overcome ultimately. We're going to overcome by our faith, because we're going to hold fast to the testimony that we have. All right. We're going to, continue to stand upon the witness of Yahushai. All right. Hold him up as that banner in the face of such as has afflicted us. And, we're going to endure unto the end. Lord willing, we're those men. And that's how we're going to overcome this beast. Not loving our lives unto death, being even willing to die for the Lord. That's a win-win situation. To die manfully and have a legacy, left behind, or making it all the way through and getting to see the kingdom get ushered in, and you being a part of that. Either way. And then those that die in the Lord, you're going to be raised first anyway. So, yeah, man. Now let's real quick, one more thing before I close the lesson out. I want to get this account in the Maccabees, when you're about to go up against Gorgias in battle. It is First Maccabees 4 and 1. It says, "Then took Gorgias 5,000 footmen and 1,000 of the best horsemen, and removed out of the camp by night, to the end he might rush in upon the camp of the Jews and smite them suddenly. And the men of the fortress were his guides. Now when Judas heard thereof, he himself removed, and the valiant men with him, that that he might smite the king's army which was at Emus, while as yet the forces were dispersed from the camp. In the mean season came Gorgias by night into the camp of Judas. And when he found no man there, he sought them in the mountains, for said he, these fellows flee from us. So they running. They scary, they running. But as soon as it was day, Judas shewed himself in the plain with 3,000 men. So they showed up with, 2,000 men short. All right. Because, he came with 5,000. So they, in a carnal sense, had the upper hand because they had 2,000 more footmen. But that's not how it works with the Heavenly Father. It doesn't matter, right? It says, "But as soon as it was day, Judas shewed himself in the plain with 3,000 men, who nevertheless had neither armor nor swords to their minds." So they wasn't really secured. They really didn't have weapons and armor. They didn't really have much of that as they would like. So it was probably short on it. So you had men who showed up that were still brave enough to go even without the armor and the swords. You see that? So what good is it? It says, and they saw the camp of the heathen, that it was strong and well harnessed, and compassed round about with the horsemen, and these were expert of war. Then said Judas to the men that were with him, fear you not their multitude, neither be ye afraid of their assault. Remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea, when Pharaoh pursued them with an army. Remember what the Lord did for us. Now therefore let us cry unto heaven, if peradventure the Lord will have mercy upon us, and remember the covenant of our fathers, and destroy this host before our face this day, that so all the heathen may know that there is one who delivereth and saveth Israel. See, they are the same mindset that David had. Then the strangers lifted up their eyes and saw them coming over against them, wherefore they went out of the camp to battle, but they were with Judas sounded their trumpets. So they joined battle, and the heathen, being discomfited, fled into the plain. Howbeit all the hindmost of them were slain with the sword, for they pursued them unto Gezerah, and unto the plains of Idumea and Azotus and Jamnia, so that they were slain of them upon a 3,000 men. This done, Judas returned again with this host from pursuing them, and said to the people, be not greedy of the spoil, as much as there is a battle before us. And Gorgias and his host are here by us in the mountain, but stand ye now against our enemies and overcome them, and after this you may boldly take their spoils. As Judas was yet speaking these words, there appeared a part of them looking out of the mountain, who, when they perceived that the Jews had put their host to flight and were burning the tents, for the smoke that was seen declared that was done. When therefore they perceived these things, they were sore afraid. And seeing also the host of Judas in a plain ready to fight, they fled every one into the land of strangers. Then Judas returned to spoil the tents, where they got much gold and silver and blue silk and the purple of the sea and great riches. After this, they went home and sung a song of thanksgiving and praised the Lord in heaven, because it is good, because his mercy endureth forever. And I believe they sung about David and Goliath. Yep. Jumping down here, it says, the next year, therefore, following Lysias, gathered together 70,000 choice men of foot, and 5,000 horsemen, that he might subdue them. So they came into Idumea and pitched their tents at Bethsoda, and Judas met with them 10,000 men. And when he saw that mighty army, he prayed and said, blessed art thou, O Savior of Israel, who didst quell the violence of the mighty man by the hand of thy servant David, and gavest the host of strangers into the hand of Jonathan, the son of Saul, and his armor bearer. Shut up this army in the hand of my people Israel, and let them be confounded in their power in horsemen. Okay? They're going to be confounded in their own power in horsemen. All right? Because in comparison with the Lord's right hand, it ain't no power. Okay? Let them put their trust in that. Esau trust in his military, trust in his AI bots, his drones, his robo dogs. He put trust in that. But that's going to fail him. When the Lord, shows his mighty strength through his right hand. So yeah, man, Jake, that this is going to somehow deliver them. All right. But that's, Jake, all they're going to do is they're going to get themselves slaughtered out there. All right. No, learn the names of the Father and the Son and put your trust in that. Not in a gun, not in armor, a bulletproof vest. So anyway, this is my response, and Lord willing, this was edifying, and give all praise to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.